In this example, I need to find the inverse of the one-to-one function f of x equals 2x cubed minus 7. As it states this is a one-to-one function, this means its inverse will also be a function. So quickly reviewing, here are the steps for finding the inverse of a one-to-one function. Step 1 says to replace f of x with y. So instead of f of x, I'm going to have y equals 2x cubed minus 7. Step 1 done. In step 2, it says to interchange x and y. So wherever you see a y, you're going to put an x. Wherever you see an x, you're going to put a y. So instead of this y, I'm going to have x equals 2 times, instead of x cubed, I'm going to have y cubed. And then finally, my minus 7. Step 2 completed. Step 3 says to solve for y. This is often the longest and the hardest step to complete. To solve for y, the first thing I need to do is add 7 to both sides of this equation. On the left-hand side, unlike terms can't combine, so I have x plus 7 equals 2y cubed, and then negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Now to get the y cubed by itself, I have to divide both sides by 2. These 2's reduce, and so I get x plus 7 divided by 2 equals y cubed. Now what function undoes the cubing function? That's the cube root function. Remember, that's a radical sign with an index of 3. So I'm going to take the cube root of both sides of this equation, and that gives me the cube root of x plus 7 all divided by 2. This expression, the whole thing is underneath the cube root symbol, equals, and what you get when you take the cube root of a cube function, they undo each other, so you just get y. So I finally completed step 3, which said to solve for y. Now step 4 says replace y with the inverse function notation. So step 4 says I'm going to replace y with the inverse function notation, which remember is f with a negative 1 exponent of x. Remember, that means here comes the inverse of the function f, and it's going to equal the cube root of x plus 7 divided by 2. So here is the inverse of my cubic function.